What is going on, everybody? Welcome to lunchtime. It's lunch with the Clydesdale on a Monday afternoon. Hope everybody is doing well. Start throw time. Way high. Right angle, just too damn high. Okay. Man, I am flat out exhausted. Went to a concert last night. It ended at 11 o'clock. Had to drive an hour 15 back to Columbus. Got in about 12:15, 12:30. Got into bed. Could not calm down after the concert. And ended up falling asleep about 2 a.m. And then up for work this morning. And my 55-year-old ass is way, way tired. Holy cow. I am really, really underestimating my rebound ability compared to what it used to be going to concerts. Because I'm dragging. And but it has been a lifelong, well, since the mid-90s, dream to go see Collective Soul. I used to go to concerts all the time. And Collective Soul has been one of my favorite bands for a long time. My wife and I have tried to see them a couple of times, and for some reason or another, the show would get canceled, and we never actually got to see them. And so last night, finally got to see them after 25 years, 30 years. And did not disappoint. They're freaking phenomenal. The lead singer has not lost a single step. His notes were crisp and in tune, and so good. Like they were just really good. The band was top notch, in sync, and I think it's pretty much the original cast of characters, which is very rare these days. That after 30 years, the entire band is still together. And then, so it's a co-headlining tour with Collective Soul and Live. They flip-flop every other night. Who's going to open, who's going to finish. Collective Soul opened up last night. And so the only bummer for me is they got an hour and 15 instead of an hour and 30. So I missed out on maybe 2 songs. And then Live came out and they finished off the night. I'd seen them in concert before. Big fan of their Throwing Copper album. And when I was in college, we listened to that all the time. Pretty good set. They got into some new music in the middle, which I understand they're trying to promote some stuff, but it hits a lull because not everybody knows the stuff, right? But I know what they're trying to do, and they sounded great. The lead singer was as good as ever. So yeah, but went with a friend who actually worked in York, Pennsylvania, where Live is from, and actually saw them in clubs back in the day. And so he was super stoked last night. And then when Collective Soul was over, I literally looked at him and said, that was beyond my expectations. And I am over the moon. I could not be any more happy with the concert last night. I actually bought a concert shirt for the first time since like 2017. They were so good. I wish older bands would understand we are not there to hear your new music. I go back and forth on that. Like, I get it because you still want to be relevant. And if you're putting out new music and you've put all this heart and soul into it, you want to share it with the world. But I wish they would have spread it out through the set instead of like made one set of all the new music where the overall concert just kind of lulled. But other than that, it was great. Really, I don't want to poo-poo it. I had a blast. My friend Mark and I had a blast. But I quit drinking 18 months ago too. So like, I'm not drinking at these concerts. It's a very different experience now. And I'm really, really loving that. And had a great time. So, but with that, I also went to Pennsylvania this weekend to check on Mama Switzer, and got to hang out with her for a little bit. Got to fix a couple things around the house. Got to help her with a little bit, and so we had a good time there. And Grant, I know your payoff secret. Payoff secret. I don't know what that means. So, okay. It's in your thumbnail. Okay. We'll see. So I also got to hang out with Mama Switzer. That was fun. We played some cards. I fixed some stuff around the house. We went out to dinner, had a great time. It was really nice getting to meet her. But when I'm there, like, I am totally out of touch with technology. So a lot of stuff happened this weekend in the CrossFit space. I was not able to keep up with it all. But I did last night when I couldn't sleep right away, did catch some of the stuff. And so I just want to pose this question to you all. And that is, with everything going on with Danielle Brandon, and again, I have not got to watch everything, so I'm still trying to catch up. Is this good for CrossFit? I have made the argument for years that when we have a villain, CrossFit is going to be better. Because not only do you have someone to root for, but now you're going to have someone to root against. And the more she is put out there as the villain of the sport, or the more she puts herself out there to be the villain of the sport, however that turns out to be, the more I think people will be engaged in her success or lack thereof moving forward. Now, she's going to have her fans. I've had her on the show a couple times. She has some of the biggest numbers of anybody I've ever had on this show. So she is very polarizing on both sides of this argument. But I think the more that's happening lately, the more she is becoming the villain. And the more she becomes the villain, the better for the sport. Especially if she's competitive this year. If she finishes top 5 and she contends with everybody, with everything that's going on, I will tell you, the eyes will be on her and how she does as much as Tia or anybody else in the field. And Andrew Stan comes in and says, is she really a villain? What's happening is more to do with stuff outside of CrossFit than anything to do with the sport. Where we are with the sport, outside the sport, inside the sport, doesn't even matter. These people are more social media influencers than they are athletes at this point where we're at. So anything that brings to the story and brings to the character is what's building up the drama for this event. And I think that, yes, it does matter. It does matter what's happening because it's building her up to be this person who is against the affiliates, against CrossFit, against the other people in the gym, all that stuff. And now people want her to lose. People are going to want her to lose as much as they want their favorite athlete to win. And that is what's going to make it even better for the sport. Trained Olive says, I would say it has definitely drawn people into all the podcasts and then driving traffic to personal Instagram for sure. And if it's doing that, it's going to do that to the CrossFit Games as well. If people are drawn into this story, they're going to be drawn in to all of it, not just the podcasts. Vicky, I used to be a DB fan, lost respect for her a year or so ago. Now she just seems like an entitled complainer. But the question is, are you going to root against her? Howard Stern famously said one time that they were doing research on his ratings, and the people that loved him listened for an hour, and the people that hated him listened for 2. So I think when it is fueled by hate, the ratings can even be better. George Wang, i.e. 1 through 4, all look good for DB. If she's contending, it's going to be awesome. Brock Bassett, if she finishes top 5, it will be an accident. Look at the field. Look how depleted it is this year. If she's going to finish top 5, it's this year. Andrew said it's devolving into junior high type gossip stuff. Maybe I've missed some developments from over the weekend. Yeah, apparently there was a letter sent from members of the gym that she is working out at listing all of the things that she's doing to piss off the other members of the gym. Now, all that is alleged. Although if you watch the Savon episode, which I'm about 2/3 of the way through, they did corroborate a lot of the information in it. So it looks like it seems to be true. It's just how far do you think the stuff she's doing should truly affect the gym and the members, and who is responsible for it, her or the owner for allowing it? It's a pretty good episode. They go through a lot. Again, I still have about 1/3 of the way to get through before I totally give my full opinion on that. Denise, there will also be those out there who want her to win too. I agree. She is very polarizing. People either love or hate her. Lido, same. Vicky, I liked her more after that documentary, and now I'm back to being indifferent about her. She's back to being unlikable. I don't know if I'd call her a villain, though. Fergie, it's her 15 minutes. Sports is full of shit shows. But people tune in for shit shows. Why do people always gawk around at the car accident or the train wreck? People want to see that stuff. C001. We prefer the hate. I think, are you cool? Is that what you're trying to do with that? Cool? I don't know. It's why Fox News runs clips of MSNBC. They have 5 times the audience, but making people grab eyeballs. It's probably right. Andrew, the games are about entertainment. That's what it is. It is a show. It is a show that they're trying to get people's eyes to watch. Yes, there's a winner at the end. We need to develop more before it's a sport. But all this stuff happens in every other sport that's out there, because at the end of the day, the NFL is entertainment. The NBA is entertainment. They are on TV. They are trying to grab an audience. They are trying to grab ratings. And so anything that pulls eyes to that is what they're looking for. Jay Birch says hate is a strong emotion. Train Olive, honestly, I don't mind the drama. It's keeping engaged until the games start. I get it. That exactly. There's not a lot going on, guys. There's not a lot going on. Us people in this business are looking for the things to talk about. George Wang, so far, the only people we've heard from, except the one caller, all have anti-DB agenda. Hiller was her best defender. Sethi D, her talent and attitude outweigh the negatives. See, got people in both camps. Anderson, they are now not what they were created to be. When it was first created, it was a festival at a ranch, and people camped out and they barbecued and they did all of that stuff, and it was a test to prove a theory. The minute they moved to the Home Depot Center, StubHub Center, whatever it was at that time, it became entertainment. The minute you are in a stadium and you're trying to fill that stadium with people to watch, you are making it entertainment. And the more you can bring to the entertainment aspect of that, the more eyes will watch. Terry, there's no way she's coming in top 10. There's no way she can't. I mean, I hate to be, you're one of our best viewers, but you're overlooking how many people are not going to be at the games this year. Her talent alone will get her top 10. She's just too talented not to finish top 10. Too talented. Fergie, remember when Ricky G was the villain? Turns out he was a cool guy that made a bad mistake. I agree. And we all wanted that villain. The most exciting year at the games is when Matt Fraser was a villain and he was trying to beat Rich. That was the most exciting games finish in a long time. And when Rich beat the villain, it was huge. Savon podcast, we were far from anti-DB. No, you are far from anti-DB, Savon. You are truly in her corner. Jody Lynn, did you ever go to the rant? I have not. Denise Moore, speaking the truth. The more tickets you sell, the more money the athletes get. DB underdelivers in every competition. She may underdeliver in every competition, but even underdelivering, she's going to finish top 10. She just finished second in WFP against a more stacked field than she'll see at the games. I mean, say what you will about that competition at this point and where they are, but that was a pretty damn good field, and she finished second. She is very, very talented. Lido, is DB good for CrossFit if we're talking about her affiliate? Probably not. And she also doesn't promote or like CrossFit, which is crazy to me. But is she good for the CrossFit Games? For sure. Anything that brings eyes to it to find out why she doesn't like it, hopefully people will find out why they would like it. Oh. And Larry Young proving all the reasons why she's going to finish top 10 for sure. In wrestling, she would be called a heel. It's all just a show for the fans. I do not disagree. That is exactly why I think this is good for the sport and good for CrossFit. The drama is good for CrossFit. Lido, WFP was a good field. There just wasn't enough events for her to have a breakdown. So she did very well. Come on. You have to look at this field that she's going up against and her talent. It is going to be top 10 for sure. So, yeah. So, we're going to probably talk about this more tonight on Monday Night CrossFit Talk. Again, I was at a concert last night. And so the ladies decided we would do a show tonight. I gave them the option to do a ladies only show last night, but they wanted to do it tonight with everybody. So we are going live at 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, this is okay. I guess the Drama Gives podcast something to talk about. It's more than that, Andrew. It's about the eyes on the competition, which I don't know if, well, we'll talk about it tonight. We have a new broadcasting partner this year. I didn't even see this. It was hidden in who they announced as a broadcast team. And on a different slide, they announced who's going to be covering it. And I think there are some advantages to this over ESPN. But we'll talk about that tonight in way more detail. Andrew, we're going to disagree on this. That's fine. We can go face to face, head to head, have it out, or just agree to disagree. To be honest, I think she needs a therapist. It's not healthy to lose her shit or blow her personal life up the way she does. She lacks self-control emotionally. She probably does. And maybe she is. We don't know. She could be getting help. But just because you're getting help doesn't mean you don't have lapses in judgment. Hell, I've gone to therapy. I still lapse on what we talk about. It happens. I will say, for the record, I have been in Danielle's presence a handful of times, and she has been nothing but gracious and nice and very accommodating to everything that we have asked, and been very nice to me in person every time. I have never had a bad experience with Danielle. So, I want to talk a little bit about history of this podcast and kind of what happened this weekend. As everybody knows, the Lauren Khalil thing has been clipped and run about her not getting enhanced access to the games. When we started this podcast, I had no idea that I didn't think we'd have more than 10 viewers. I was just doing it for fun because I wanted to be a sports broadcaster at some point, gave up on that dream. And with other things going crappy in my life, I decided, let's just start this. And in 2021, I wrote a letter to Justin LaFranco because they had stopped using their YouTube channel, and I offered to take it over. And he agreed to let us do that. When we got to Morning Chalk Up, everybody there hated that we were there, except for one or two people. And we got sabotaged every opportunity people had to sabotage us. We then
go to the games. I do interviews. I had a great one with Colton Mertens that got lost with Morning Chalk Up. Ellie Turner that got lost. Bunch of others. And I just was like, I'm done with this shit. And I decided I was going to go on my own and I was just going to grind and grind and grind. So the next year we get to semifinals. I get media credentials. I show up in Knoxville for the Syndicate and the MAC. They were back-to-back years that year. And in the second week of that event, I got kicked out of the media room to make room for the Buttery Bros. And I was put into an area with the judges where they were like talking loud. We couldn't get any work done. They were looking at their schedules and stepping on our table with our laptops and our equipment. And I just said, the hell with this. And I went and I parked my ass right outside the tunnel coming off the floor. And I just started interviewing athlete after athlete from every heat coming off and recording them as fast as I could and getting them up on Instagram as fast as I could. And by the end of the weekend, Wilson and his team provided me with a table and chairs and the whole bit to do that in that tunnel. So then we get to Granite Games the next weekend. Same thing happens. I'm booted out of the media room. And so I go over and I use my hotspot on my phone and I park outside the warm-up area where the athletes were. And as they came up from the field, I was interviewing them over and over and over again. And this just became my thing. Then the next year, everybody wants to do what I was doing. And so they're jumping in to interview these athletes coming off the floor. At that point, I brought on Jamie. I had Cheryl Nasso, and there was Kat, and people were bullying them, saying that they get dibs on the interviews because of the company that they were with. Some of those being Talking Elite Fitness, some of those being Morning Chalk Up. And that really pissed me off. And so I went back to doing some of the interviews so that I could protect the ground of these ladies that had come to try to help me. And so we were doing our thing. Every place we went to, we battled for space. Even last year at the Syndicate Crown, security tried to kick us out of the tunnel where the athletes were coming off the floor, even though other people from other companies were in that tunnel the whole time. And Wilson has always been the best, and his team has always been the best, and they gave us an alternative, but it just sucks that these people kept getting like better situations and better places to be. And so this year, I didn't make it out to the semifinals because my wife was going through surgery. My mom had a stroke. A lot of stuff were going on like that. So what was cool this year is Lauren makes the statement that she doesn't get enhanced media credentials. And I have to say, finally, karma has come around. Me and my team this year did the Open. 2 of my team members won the Open in their age group. One of those people is going to the CrossFit Games. Both of them are going to the Masters CrossFit Games. We have done as much for the CrossFit community as anybody. We're participating. We are backing. We are promoting. We're doing all that stuff. There are some amazing people in this space, and they have asked me to not mention their names, and they know who they are. They're amazing people in this sport, in this space, and they help people out. And I'm so grateful to them because they are awesome. And it's never the people you think it is. Those people work in silence and in the background, and they're great people. And I appreciate them so much. And this weekend, we found out, I'm getting emotional. We found out this weekend that we have enhanced access at the CrossFit Games for the first time ever. and it's going to make what we can put out so much better. I am so pumped. I am so jazzed about this, and I'm fired up to do the best job I can to bring you guys the best content we can bring. But I love the fact that there are people that still feel it's important to have your back, and they do it without wanting recognition or anything like that. And when you watch some of this content, there's people that play the nice guy, and there are people that are the nice guy. And I just want to thank those who truly are the nice guys and truly are the ones who help you out. And I love the fact that they did that for us. And I love the fact that we get an opportunity to show what we can do. And I love the fact that we can really hone in there and get our skills better and do better and better as we move along. So you guys are my crowd. You guys are my people. You're with me each and every day. And I want to thank you so much for being here. And I wanted to let you guys know what happened, and that this weekend, while I was at my mom's house taking care of her, I got the email. I got actually a DM from CrossFit saying, you have enhanced access. We'll send you more details in the coming week, and can't wait to meet you at the games. And so with that, thank you guys. Thank you. And you know who you guys are, the people that help me out. And I want to thank you, the audience, for being here every single day and hanging out with us. So thank you all for the congratulations. CrossFat says, did you text Lauren then and a boo-boo? I really wanted to. I really, really wanted to. Denise Moore, enhanced access. So amazing. Lana, congrats, Scott. Well deserved. Someone's cutting onions. Congrats to Scott and team. It's been fun following around Clydesdale Media's journey for the last few years. Don't piss down Dave's back and tell him it's raining. Karma for TEF. Vicky, you earned it. By the way, speaking of Tommy, did you know he'll be in the broadcast team for the Masters with Sean Woodland this year? He was last year. I do want to say this, and I know Grant did a thing with Tommy. Tommy has always been cool to me. Tommy was the one person at Morning Chalk Up that didn't F me over. And I do have to say that out loud. Tommy has always been a class act. So has Sean. The two of them have never, ever done a thing to me in any way that was disrespectful. So I'll never speak ill of those two people because when everybody else was dogging me, they were not. But there are plenty of others who took their shots when they could. Just made that a simple math equation for all of us. Hey, I'm not naming names. But I don't really care anymore. I hit that 55, and I just don't give a shit what people think. I want to be a head down and grind away guy, do my thing, the best I can. Corey, stop that. I cannot express to y'all how much Scott deserves this. This dude does so much for so many without asking for anything in return. Truly a class act. CrossFit here for unfiltered old man Scott. Yeah, I am the guy that goes out and screams at the clouds, and I am embracing that and leaning into that character completely. Oh, Denise, you're the best. Scott doesn't push me on shoes. Sleep aids, pre-workouts. It's very genuine. Even when we had sponsors back in the day, we never did ad reads. I will never, ever do an ad read. Either I use the product and I just talk about it in general conversation, or I don't use it and I'm not going to have them sponsor us. Right now we have 0 sponsors, so it's really easy. But when we had C4, I actually drank C4 and it was really easy to drink it while I was doing the show. Yes, yells at people parking in front of your house. I hate that. I hate that. If you're not coming to see me, why are you parking in front of my house? Shanna, you're the best. Truly. Love getting to see you every year. Only my second time watching, so I'll just stand to the side and clap for everyone else. Thanks, Mark. Come back, check us out. All right. Back to what Lito said about the Masters CrossFit Games. The one thing I'll say today that we'll talk more about it tonight. I wish that CrossFit would try other people at the mic in the broadcasting. Like they did with Lucy Campbell. She got to hang out with Chase. She got really good at what she was doing. And I want them to try new people. I don't mind if Sean's doing the CrossFit Games Masters. Put him with someone else, though, for a trial of another color analyst. It seems like we just keep retreading the same people over and over and over again. It gets old. It's the same analogies and the same stories if you've been watching since 2011. Like we see the same stuff over and over again. That's why I liked it when John and Bill were doing something, or like Lucy Campbell. Like I know people dug Stacy Tovar. At least it was different. Jason Kalipa, different. And maybe they won't all succeed. Maybe you don't keep any of them on, but at least try some different people. Amanda Hari would crush. Hey, I believe so. I think Carolyn Prevost would be awesome. I have made that claim over and over. That woman is a CrossFit nerd. She knows so much about this sport, not just as an athlete. She watches everything. She knows all the stuff that's going on. She would be incredible at it. And she was great at Rogue on the side desk last year, but she's a little busy this year. Yeah, Angelo was good. I think Angelo would be great. For play-by-play is a high-skill role, only about 3 in CrossFit that are qualified. Right. I think the color analyst needs to change more than the play-by-play. But you're never going to get another play-by-play person unless you start training somebody. And maybe the Masters and the teens is the place to do some of that. They don't have to do every heat. Just get them some work. Vicky and Tommy has been very vocal about not really supporting CrossFit. It seems like a weird decision. I know. Can't we say something about the programming of the games? I'm sure. I know we have, Larry. We have. You remind us every night, every Sunday night show we do, every lunch show. you remind us that we need new programming, and it needs to be heavier. Kalipa was caffeined up, yellow lab on the broadcast. Sean does his homework. I really enjoy his broadcasting. Can you imagine him with Carolyn? Yeah. Man, so much here. That lady from Grid League. Yeah, I would think she would probably know what the CrossFit stuff is if you know Grid. I mean, it's not a huge leap, but she's great. She's huge personality. Big question: does our play-by-play person need to be CrossFit? Most sports they aren't. I think in this community, there has to be some kind of tie. Either they'd at least do the workouts at a minimum. Fergie, Carolyn would be great at color commentary. I so agree with that. Imagine Dave and JR programming the games together. Would it be incredible or two alphas going at it? Denise, our strong 65 to 69-year-old woman, wants that group programmed heavier, because then she'd win the games. Tour de France and tennis have iconic announcers that didn't play the sport. I'm not saying the play-by-play has to have played the sport. I think they need to be a CrossFitter, because that is what this community wants. There has to be a tie back to the affiliates at some level. It doesn't have to be huge, but at some level it has to be. Train Olive doesn't like the lady from Grid. I think she's good. I think that their color people, depending on who they are either great or less. I don't know what I just said there, but I bet a decent flow master could do it. I agree. I think so. Andrew Sten, the sport is still too new to have a non-CrossFit person as play-by-play. Most don't understand what's going on. She doesn't watch everything. You'd be surprised. There's some nuance to that, Savon. With that, guys, my 45 minutes is up, and it is time for me to get back to work. It was awesome hanging out with you. It's been a great weekend. I'm going to finish up the Danielle Brandon episode from last night. I'll dig into some other stuff. And then Jamie and Carolyn and myself will be here tonight, 8 p.m., to go over the event announcements, to go over all the other stuff. We got Fact or Fiction again tonight. Should be fun. We're only 10 days out from the CrossFit Games. Man, crazy. With that, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And then I am going to do some little vignettes from the games, and I am going to make them members only for 24 hours. We got 5 new members last week, and I want to reward the people that have been helping us out. So I'm going to let them have the vignettes that I release for 24 hours, and I'll release it to everybody. So I'm not keeping it gone for a long time. And you can join at the lowest level, $2.99 a month. For those people who do that, you hit the join button, $2.99 a month. It makes you a member. It helps us out, helps us run the show. And then I'll do some vignettes from the games. They'll be out for members only for 24 hours. Then after that, we'll release them to everybody worldwide. If that is it, that's it for me. Like and subscribe. Join us tonight, 8 p.m. I think that's everything. And you knuckleheads get back to work because I got to get back there now. With that, see everybody soon. Bye, guys.